right, here in the top right-hand corner of the map, we have our green Zerg player from karont3 Esports Club. Representing them in the set, he is a mercenary for the team. It's Giant. His opponent down here in the bottom left-hand corner from Team Liquid, winner of the last game, our red Zerg player TLO. I want to mention to some people who are out there listening as well, we just posted a ton of information on Reddit and Team Liquid about IPL 6, format for the events and stuff like that. Now, obviously, there are some people that are wondering, why the event itself isn't going to be Heart of the Swarm. We are going to have an 8-man Heart of the Swarm Invitational there. We'll also have the IPTL Finals, but the main 40-man event is still going to be Wings of Liberty. To some people who are asking, oh, why don't you just make it Heart of the Swarm? Well, there's a lot of factors that go into the decision, and it's not as simple as just saying, well, I think we're going to have a major event in Heart of the Swarm. It's not, you don't just say it and just make it happen.
And,
so.
I was talking with Tim actually about this on Ride to Work this morning, and the fact that we're having a live tournament event, a major event, so immediately after the release of Heart of the Swarm makes it that, well, having an event so quickly means that your next event is going to be that much sooner.
Yeah.
So, if we waited a month or 2 months and then we had our tournament, well, now, is our tournament going to be Heart of the Swarm or is it going to be Wings of Liberty? But having it so quickly means that we can get it over with, let's say, and move on to that next Heart of the Swarm tournament. It's going to be that much faster instead of, we're looking at 5 or 6 months down the road.
Not only that, but we're also qualifying people for the event starting in, it's in there in the thread, but I think starting next week, starting next Wednesday. Yeah. So we're going to qualify people for a couple of months. We can't qualify them on a game that's not released yet, and they haven't practiced yet. We're going to qualify them on Wings of Liberty, which is already out, but then we can't then take those results and swap it into a Heart of the Swarm event.
That's definitely a point. But feel pretty good about it, even if you're a big, if you're looking forward to Heart of the Swarm a lot, know that because our tournament is so close to the release of Heart of the Swarm, we get to run a HOTS tournament soon after that, much faster.
And I can confirm that that will be the last Wings of Liberty event that we do here at the IPL. So
that's just crazy to think about, man.
I know. It's been so, I mean, like the entire time I've worked here, I've worked on Wings of Liberty. But that will be the last Wings of Liberty event, but we're still going to have Heart of the Swarm content while there. We just can't...
stop saying last Wings. I'm like...
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, a couple of differences between our two players' builds here, but not too much to write home about. Ended up being a 14 pool for TLO, who ended up putting down his hatch afterwards. So a little bit earlier pool, going to get that queen out a bit earlier on. Also prioritizes his gas nice and early like his opponent. Giant, on the other hand, hatch first into pool afterwards.
And this is the map where it's just so popular to see both players lose their third to each other's Ling Bane. It's this like funky situation where, okay, we make our thirds, we make Lings and Banes, and I'm not by any means saying it will happen, but you have that engagement and everybody knows it's going to come down to like luck, unless, or if one person knows that they're not the better player, like better micro player, say you're going up against Life and his Ling Bane control is just nobody can beat it. So it's like, I'm not going to do that. So then you kind of just circle around each other and kill each other's thirds because you don't want that luck factor involved.
Right.
It's really, really interesting how many times you see it happen on Daybreak when, both players end up going for the high tech pretty fast. But in this situation, both players are continuing to mine their gas after speed. So it could be fast layer, it could be quick Banelings, Kev.
Yeah, but of course that's become the norm now. I always remember when it used to be like that was the telltale sign to a Roach Baneling all in, and you were like, oh, he's still staying on after 100 gas. Oh my God! You're like, there's going to be a big all in. But now it's like, okay, well, is he going to go for roaches? Is he going to go for layer? But obviously it's going to go to something normal.
Yeah, TLO going for the Baneling nest in his base. Spawn crawler down at the natural expansion. Daybreak, a lot like many other maps, is not too hard to defend, but the ramp is in front of the hatchery, so it makes it a little bit tougher at least. You've got this nice staging area as well to like do things like more Banelings and whatnot, but I really think both players are just going to play this pretty tight, pretty defensive. We see the gas timings are identical from them both.
Right. All right. Well, yeah, everything is looking pretty consistent here. Let's actually take a look at the units tab. We have equal drone counts. We have pretty much equal everything.
Giant's a little bit ahead right now because TLO did make a spine crawler and Giant did not.
Yeah.
So, it's 100 minerals and a drone that he's going to be ahead on right now. And hey, do you know what? If I'm Giant, I want every advantage I can get versus one of Liquid's most historic players.
Yeah, you never, I mean, the thing with spine crawlers and stuff like that is, obviously it keeps you safe in so many scenarios. Very safe way to play the game. But if you can find a way to bypass it and still not take damage, then you've gained yourself an advantage. Now, whether it's worth taking that risk, that's up for you to decide, and depending on how much much information you have from your opponent could sway your decision. But that being said, looks like TLO is quite considerably farther ahead on his layer timing, about 25 seconds.
Yeah, going for the faster lair and the spine crawler. There's going to be some openings here for Giant. They could be in drones. Is he ahead in that at this time? 44 to 41, yeah, by a small amount. In fact, 46 to 41, but we've got 5 about to pop out, so it's really about a 2-drone advantage right now for Giant. And it also looks like he's got a little bit quicker +1 here, whereas TLO is actually going to be going for Spire here.
Yeah, and clearly already with the +1, with the Roach Warren coming down, we're going to see Infestation Pit here in a bit, and Giant's going to start working towards Roach Infester, which is great, solid, fine play. Now, the moment he could come under a little bit of trouble, though, is if TLO, with that 25-second faster layers, this is actually pretty considerable difference, will be able to strike in with some mutants. And if he can kill a bunch of workers, get some damage done with the Zergling counterattack, and maybe snipe the 3rd, then he's going to be in a good spot. But if Giant defends this pretty well, he already has his late game tech set up.
Yeah, but here come the Lings right now from TLO. And these are, of course, the Lings and Bans that we often see when players are working on their Spire. As I was saying, you know, you go for that 3rd base, you try to force the cancel. Giant has more than enough units, of course, to stem it off with these Roaches. However, he's only just now starting his Infestation Pit, Kevin. You know, he's, of course, worried about the possibility of a ground attack. He didn't know it was going to be Spire or anything like that. And these are just going to be some very, very late infestors to deal with the mutas.
You can see that Infestation Pit still has 25 seconds.
He knows
it
it's late. He knows that it's too late.
Yeah, because
smart play.
That Spire's finishing up in 3 seconds. We're going to see mutas across the map in about 55. So that's a big consideration. TLO actually putting out a ton of drones for all of this. Looks like he's content to do some damage with the Zergling 1-by here. As he successfully gets it done. I think he ducks some units over towards this base too. Yeah, actually those drones stopping there because there was a bit of an attack. TLO does some damage to the Baneling too, but he can't finish off any of the units that he actually connected with.
No, not able to. Is going to manage to take out the Spore Crawler, maybe. It just, like, stopped taking damage there. And it's going to go down. Zerglings, a couple of them trying to skirt away to the edge to make Banelings, but that's not going to happen. Giant being very diligent in that regard. Oh, no! There's actually 3 Banelings slipping in right now. From the left-hand side, we'll see what kind of contact they make.
Okay,
3 drones, 4.
Oh, hey, look. And then 5. This Zergling there to clean up all the rest.
Yeah, that Zergling is a Slayer.
That's awesome. Sweet. Slayer Zergling.
Slayer
and he's actually doing damage over here, too, killing the Spore Crawler.
Man.
TLO is all over the place.
Yeah, he really is. I mean, he's just picking Giant apart right now. It's actually like the mutas haven't even... He's making his first 3 mutas right now, I think.
No, he's got a few on the map.
Yeah, I see them flying right now on the mini-map, but...
Wow, this is actually a disaster for Giant so far.
Yep. Oh, I mean, at this point, he's down to 63 supply, and the mutas are just about to actually hit.
Yeah. All right, well, a counterattack of Roaches coming in. This is actually something that TLO may not be able to deal with. Then he draws all of his drones off the line. He's only lost 2, now 3 of them, and the mutas are eventually going to pick away at these Roaches. Of course, their DPS is very low. It'll take a while for this to happen, and this hatchery could die in the meantime.
Yeah, it's not too big of a deal here for TLO. He's going to lose the hatch, but even with Giant's 3rd, there's nothing that he can do with it. And in fact, the mutas will just be able to kill it for free. Here's some Roaches. That's going to spell all the difference here for TLO. He's definitely going to put a stop to this. No more damage done to his base. And now he's going to get to go use kind of Giant as like a little cat's plaything for a minute or 2 here because there's not any options. Yeah,
you can see on the map right now there are 2 Zerglings and 2 Hydralisks. Yeah. That's it. Pathogen Glands finishes up, but of course, even though he has a ton of gas, and that's actually decent for him right now, I mean, if he had to be starved of any resource, he wants to be starved of minerals, because he can accumulate that a little bit quicker and then start pumping out infestors 1 by 1. But the problem is they have a 50-second build time, and it's just going to be too long before they're able to make a difference.
Well, Spore Crawler finishes up. TLO with some very nice micro, of course, however, is going to manage to keep that Mutalisk alive. So, all right. I mean, Giant at this point, we can say that he really he got pulled apart by Ling attacks. Which is funny because he actually started Glial Reconstitution very early. If we look back on when he began that research, like, I don't think it was as much of a build order counter, and it was much more just Giant unable to deal with TLO's multi-pronged attacks and not able to react quickly enough. We're
actually going to have an Overlord drop as part of this too, so TLO feeling very confident at the moment. He's going to go around any sort of prepared defenses. There's a lot of Hydralisks there, and he's just going to circumvent them.
Yep. And I mean, that's going to get all the units out of position. We may even see him like overreact. Giant really doesn't have too much of a chance at this point. You know, if you Fungal Growth all the mutas and kill them with the Hydras, That could get him a chance back into this game.
Yeah, but the Mutalisks now sitting above, flying free. The Hydralisk getting picked off one by one. The nice fungal growth does actually capture a lot of units. A second one actually going to take those down and actually hits a lot of the Mutalisks too, but that's not enough. GG comes out. TLO rolls to a very easy Game 4 win, and now karont3, they're down to their last 2 players, and I wonder who those last 2 players are gonna be.
I don't know, Kevin. This is so hard.
Question is, which one's gonna come first? Who do you think?
We've been seeing a lot of ZVZ, and TLO has been showing that he's not bad at it at all, so I'm going to say Lucifron.
Let's see. Hero can frontline. It is Lucifron. You are correct. Well done. All right, so Lucifron going to be up next.
That's the lamest victory dance ever. I'm gonna choreograph a victory dance for you guys, and I'll employ it tomorrow. I'm actually not casting tomorrow, so I'll employ it next time. You're going to be gone for so long, Kevin.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm casting tomorrow, and then I'm actually going to be off Thursday and Friday this week, and then Monday to Thursday next week. I will be on vacation. So
yeah,
yes. In any case, though, we're going to run to a commercial break. Continue those responses coming in about what maps you would like to see added to our map pool. What are your favorite maps to watch games on right now? And if you have any questions, because we have the big IPL 6 information thread that did just go up on Reddit and Team Liquid. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask them to us. We tried to show you guys some of the reasons that this is going to be our last Wings of Liberty event at IPL 6, but we'd be happy to reiterate those or give you guys any feedback. So send those in on Twitter. I'm at Kevinaki. He is at Kibbles.
All right, guys, quick break. We'll see you in a minute.